सबकी चले, अपनी थोड़ी सी ज़्यादा चले, if that's being selfish. I never had that problem even when I was a fat kid. I used to like looking at myself even then. I was very proud about how I was. I've never had that issue. But that's just my nature. I cannot sit here and be fake. मेरे से नहीं होता. If I'm not happy, I'm not happy. You'll see it on my face. So I think Lady Killer is a script which I love. Like I'm obsessed with it. It's one of the best scripts, maybe the best script I've ever read in my life. I think Jahnvi and me are similar in that sense. So we talk a lot more about work.
Hello everyone, this is Aina and I'm with the most dashing Arjun Kapoor today. Hi Arjun, welcome to Pinkvilla.
Hi Aina, 10 साल वेट किया मैंने ताकि मैं आइना के साथ इंटरव्यू कर सकूं. तुम्हारा पहला इंटरव्यू ना मेरे साथ.
Yeah, the first time.
10 years पूरा करियर लगा दिया ताकि तुम मेरे साथ इंटरव्यू कर सको.
That is so sweet and I am also getting this opportunity
Yes.
after you being in 10
I have
years.
used Pinkvilla for so many interviews just so you can interview me.
So, first of all, congratulations
Thank you.
for completing 10 years and serving us with some really amazing performances.
Thank you.
I actually want to start off by knowing that, when you came in, you were very clear, like, being number one wasn't your aim entirely. You were not like in any toxic competitive spirit with your contemporaries.
Yeah.
You've always been very relaxed, more focused on your work. How do you get that kind of maturity right from the start?
Well, that is a very nice way of putting it across, that I've never been toxic about it, because I think because I've grown up here and my ambition was to always make good films, to be part of good films. My father's a producer, my uncle's been an actor, and I've always appreciated the craft. And I've also always been very excited to come together to make films. My ambition has never been ki main. My ambition was always us together. Like for me, it is collaborative. For me, it is, even if I'm sitting with you, I would want this interview for us to be good. If I keep talking and you're not asking the correct questions, it's not going to work. I'm a very, very straightforward person. I don't like to listen to people. I don't like to be told what to do. I also am somebody who believes that I should back my own self, my gut, my instinct. When you become an actor and you get accepted, it validates the fact that you followed your heart, you followed your ability. My first film did well, so then it became easy for me to believe that, okay, my thought process is right. I should just stick with it. Yeah, I'm friends with all my contemporaries. I want all of them to do well, because you have to understand, if their films do well, the audiences like more films, they come to watch more films. Sabki chale, apni thodi si zyada chale, if that's being selfish. And that's something that always keeps me going. Even today, I'm not somebody who's ever been scared of ensembles, two hero films. If you look at my career trajectory, even today I'm doing a film with John Abraham, Disha, Tara, Villain is an ensemble in its purest form. I did Gunde, I've done Mubaraka, I've done Aurangzeb, Finding Fanny. I've never ever thought about me. I'm the first actor who I was told recently gave the 100 crore club entry in the young actors was me. But two stages wouldn't be possible without the way the director made it, and the producers backed this director to work with two young actors. So I never came in to prove a point to anybody or to be number one or number two, because that's very, very, very fragile. That changes Friday to Friday. And today we are seeing it in the recent couple of months, we're seeing it even more.
Like you said, you've had some super hits and then you've had misses as well.
Yeah.
There was this one time you were really heartbroken that you mentioned was after Tevar.
Yeah.
You said that really affected you. So at that point of time, when you're just 3 years in the industry, how do you get yourself to be motivated enough to stand up again and go through the entire process? I mean, it can be very hard for someone who's starting out.
Yeah, I mean, you are right. Tevar, I think, hit me the most. It's as strange as it sounds, it hit me the most because it was a film produced by the family. Sanjay and Dad had produced it, and I had not signed any other film when I was doing it, because I wanted to put all my energy into it and not have that pressure of have to go to another film. And we were backing a young director with a vision to make a huge summer blockbuster entertainer, Amit, who made Badhai Ho recently, which is such a terrific film, and now he's doing Maidan again with Dad. At that point, I wanted to empower the film and make sure that I can put myself out there in all ways possible. So one whole year of hard work and one Friday just took it all away. It broke my heart, it got me down, it got me demoralized, and I said, where did I go wrong and where did I screw it up, and I'm to blame, and I took a lot of the blame on me. But then I also went away on a holiday for a week, alone. I shut my phone, I kept it away in the safe of the hotel, and I just tried to be. And it came to me that I cannot blame myself alone I can't take credit for the success, I never do. The same way I have to stop blaming myself alone. So I analyzed it at a very practical level. I tried to understand it and then I moved on from it. But also, I might want to add here, when I saw the first cut of Tevar, I was a bit concerned about the fact that we've gone a little differently from what I'd imagined. So I also had to remember in my heart that, okay, I impulsively knew that something might not translate. So I tried to hold on to that, and then I moved on. I did a film like Kiyanka right after that, which sounds like the stupidest move after. I mean, I remember when I was signing it, I was told, "Arey, you're a macho hero who's supposed to do action films. What are you going to play house husband? Balki's just made Shamitab, you've given Tevar, Kareena's done Gori Tere Pyar Mein. What is this film?"
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I feel that one line works for me. A boy grew up wanting to be like his mother instead of every boy that grows up wanting to be like their father. I said, I back this and I want to. And it worked. So I saw two ends of the spectrum within 15, 16 months and I learned out of it.
Did that isolation help you when
Yeah,
you went?
yeah, it did, because I was,
Yeah,
what
you're
I'm telling you
facing-
today, I analyzed it. It's not to say that I can't take the failure to heart, but at some point you can take the failure out of your heart and put it in your mind and rationalize it and then try and learn from it and move forward.
Now that you look back at the kind of films that you've done, of course, the experience teaches you the good, the bad. Is there something you would want to alter in your filmography? Not in the way ki ye karna chahiye ki nahi, but maybe I could have done this better, or maybe I could have played this another way.
No, I think the biggest fundamental truth of my career is the fact that when I made my debut, I was somebody who had lost weight and was a very fit guy making a debut, and I looked like I deserved to be on the big screen. Somewhere my health gave way, somewhere my extra work took a toll on me mentally, emotionally, physically. And I kept working and I kept saying yes to films. मैं हाँ बोलते गया, काम करते गया, लेकिन I was not able to take care of my own self. So when I look back, if I would like to change something, I would tell myself maybe 5 years down my career that now start taking care of yourself. You've pushed yourself a lot, but it's showing on screen. You're not looking the way you were looking when you made your debut. The audience now has an expectation of you to look a certain way. And I think that's unfair for me to expect the audience to accept me looking worse off than when I did Ishaqzaade or Gunde or Two States. I should have caught on to it a little faster. But I kept thinking, agli picture aayegi na, main 3 mahine lunga, I'll lose the weight, it's just 4-5 kgs, I'll just take care of myself better. Picture aati gayi, mujhe kaam karne ka man tha, I was running away from my life, my realities, whatever my issues were personally.
And work was an escape in a way.
Work was always an escape. I mean, you have to understand, I lost my mother just before my first film. So for me, work was the best medicine to stay away from home and deal with the reality. COVID happened and I had to deal with a lot of my realities that had kind of shifted away. So listen, we get paid really well and people pay a lot of money to watch us. I wasn't not working hard. I was just working hard on maybe too many other things except myself, which I now realize was detrimental in the bigger picture. आप 18, 19, 20 घंटे काम कर लोगे, लेकिन उसके बाद आके अगर आप 4 घंटे सोओगे, वर्कआउट नहीं करोगे और you end up eating whatever is available because you want to keep working, you're not taking care of yourself. You're also not resting enough. And if you are that person that needs the break, you have to recognize it and take it. There's nothing wrong with that. But I used to feel it's being unfair to my job if I'm not putting in more hours. It's a learning.
Learning. That's why your bio is like work in progress.
Always. And
Always
I genuinely believe that. I think people like me, there are some people who are gifted. You need to find your niche, and I'm somebody who has to constantly be aware and work in progress. So I believe that.
That's why I think you even put out the transformation image.
Yeah.
Was it COVID phase?
I mean, it was sitting at home. You can enjoy it for a few months, but then you realize that this is an opportunity for you to finally start loving yourself. I had stopped loving myself. I used to not like looking at myself in the mirror, and I'd never had that problem even when I was a fat kid. I used to like looking at myself even then. I was very proud about how I was. I've never had that issue of कि यार मैं अच्छा नहीं दिखता and all. I accepted
That's so nice.
Yeah, but I accepted मैं average looking guy हूँ, but I have a personality. I know how I am. I know how to conduct myself. I always had belief in my personality. I was not somebody who backed away from being myself. But when COVID happened, I realized that I'm not myself. I've gone into a shell. I'm not, that spark is missing. I just used that as a stepping stone and said, you know what, I'm going to work hard on myself and I'm going to take care of myself and I'm going to love myself. It's not easy to do that. And I'm sure that a lot of people who go through the same situation as I do. I'm blessed that I'm perhaps financially more secure and independent, that I can take a lot longer and have the best resources. But that in itself is not enough. You also have to have the power within you to face every day that you go and put in hard work in the gym or eating right, you still don't see the results.
Yeah.
I had implemented a very good lifestyle when I started as an actor. Somewhere that went away. So I've reimagined my life to suit me now. So my lifestyle now is about where I am today at 36. I'm not the same when I was 22. It's not humanly possible. And I think that switch happened in COVID when I realized that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. मुझे काम करना है, मुझे acting करनी है, मुझे लोगों को entertain करना है. मुझे फिल्में बनानी as a producer, director, that's secondary, that's a journey. But today, I want the audience to respect my work. I want them to connect with me for the work I'm doing, for the way I look, for the way I present myself.
So when you looked at yourself the first time on screen during Ishaqzaade, were you excited? Were you self-critical? What was the
No, I was very happy with, with myself, honestly, because I did the whole film. I've grown up in the industry, so I know what it feels like to watch films on the big screen for other, like to see my uncle and all that. So you still feel, acha, मैं देखूंगा, मैं समझ जाऊंगा. I saw myself. The first time I saw Ishaqzaade on the big screen, the whole film, Yash Chopra and Pam Aunty were sitting in front of me, and Pariniti and me were sitting behind in Yash Raj Studio. And this is the space where I'd auditioned and all. Literally, I've done my workshops here. So I chose to do interviews here today for that reason. इधर promotion की photo खिंचाई है एक. जब देखी तो मैं बहुत खुश हुआ यार. I said यार मैं अच्छा लगता हूँ screen पे. ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं बुरा लगता हूँ. I have some presence. My hard work showed, the dialect, the body language. Because I'm not Parma. If you interact with me today also, I'm not. कुछ नहीं होता. हाँ दादा बोलो ना क्या. I'm not that person, and I'm not grown up in that milieu. But I looked like I belonged in Ishaqzaade, so I was very proud of that.
And you know, people obviously love you as Arjun Kapoor, the actor.
I would hope so.
They even love you as Arjun Kapoor, the person. If you've noticed, like I've seen your interviews, the comments, people go like, oh, he's so honest, he's always real about his emotions, his relationships. What do you have to say about that?
I'm a very sensible, realistic, practical person, and that's my mother's upbringing.
Yeah.
People assume I'm pessimistic because of how realistic I am. But that's just my nature. I cannot sit here and be fake. मेरे से नहीं होता. If I'm not happy, I'm not happy. You'll see it on my face. So a lot of people might see me and say, okay, he's not okay or whatever. Because if I feel something is very evident, and I don't like to be fake. बहुत थकान है fake होने में यार. कितने 10 साल नहीं sustain कर पाता ना. If you see my first interview to today, I think, barring my physical evolution and my hair growing out or my beard growing out, मैं अभी भी वैसे ही सोचता हूँ. थोड़ी सी growth होती है. मुझसे नहीं होता ये fakeness नहीं होता यार. I'd rather not be liked for being honest, and I'd rather people not enjoy it, but accept that okay, ये realistic और honest आदमी है. इसीलिए मुझे कभी ट्रोलिंग से प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं हुई, बिकॉज आप क्या मुझे सच्चाई दिखाओगे, मुझे पता है मेरी सच्चाई क्या है. तो आप जब एक्सट्रीम होते तो मुझे उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता, वो आपकी सोच दिखाता है. आप हमारे काम पे बात करो, फर्क नहीं पड़ता, बट आप हमारे दांत से लेके, नाक से लेके, टांग से लेके, उंगली से लेके, कपड़ों से लेके हर चीज पे क्रिटिसिज्म करते हो. लाइक आई सेड, इट डजंट बॉदर मी बियॉन्ड अ पॉइंट, बिकॉज आई रियलाइज्ड कि यार आई एम sensible enough to know the right from the wrong.
You know, talking a little about the kind of choices also you're currently making. You know, what I've noticed is you're definitely this mainstream hero, but now the kind of choices that you're making is more like the artist inside you with Kutte, with the Lady Killer, Sandeep or Pinky Farrar. What's going on that front?
I was always like that. If you see Aurangzeb, it was the first Yash Raj film that didn't have the song dance routine. It was a double role without the typical double role nuances also in it. I did Finding Fanny in English. I chose to do India's Most Wanted, which was a very realistic film again. I did Sandeep or Pinky Farrar. So I've always had that bend because I believe that I like all kinds of films as a viewer. So I would like to do all kinds of films as an actor. That bend perhaps today is a little stronger because I'm even more fearless, and maybe I have nothing more left to prove or lose in that sense, that I don't need to constantly be looking for validation. I have to also do things that make me happy. Of course, I want validation from people who like the film, but I have to also like what I'm doing. Some choices I made in the middle were more extroverted कि यार audience को ऐसी picture देखनी है. Now I feel यार मुझे ऐसी picture करनी है. So I think Lady Killer is a script which I love. Like I'm obsessed with it. It's one of the best scripts, maybe the best script I've ever read in my life. It's beautiful. It reads like, I mean, इसकी picture नहीं भी बनेगी तो भी ये perfect है. Because you can imagine, it's such a visceral and real film. It's a noir romantic thriller. It's very different from anything I've done. It's very unique in terms of even the treatment and the way the director and the writers have worked on it, and the DOP now, the way they're shooting it. Bhumi is tremendous in the film. I've only shot 20 days, but I'm very excited because I feel rooted है, but फिर भी कुछ नया है. And I really hope it connects with the audience. But I'm very passionate about Lady Killer. I did Kutte also for that same reason. बाप ने कमीने बनाई थी, बेटा कुत्ते बना रहा है. So you can imagine, and I love कमीने.
Yeah.
I love कमीने. I love Dishkiya. You know, and to have that ensemble, Tabbu, Konkana, Kumud Mishra, Nasiruddin Shah. Just for me, it's exciting to play a character in a film like that versus being a hero of the film. You know, I like that I'm blending with all of them. And कुछ सीखने ही मिलेगा. So, but for me, it was always the material. It's a story that I really instinctively connected with, and I said, you know, I want to be part of a film like this. Where Kamine ends, Kutte begins. It's almost like that. It's not a sequel or a franchise or whatever, but it's in that world. So if you like Kamine, you will definitely like Kutte.
So hopefully that will be like my third interview with you.
No, you can come for villain also.
Yeah, villain. That's why I said third.
So
First,
third,
second,
correct.
third.
Yeah. So
And
Kutte
Lady
will be,
Killer
and
fourth.
Lady Killer will be fourth. Yeah. So Himesh is now not going to be able to interview me ever, basically.
So, lastly, before I let you go, I just want to know that now when you look back at your entire journey, your entire 10 years, what is something you would advise Shanaya because she's making her debut? So, not what would you tell her? कि ये करना है, ये मत करना.
You know, there was something I used to always say in my interviews and I felt it and then I forgot about it. It was suno sabki, lekin karo apni. So I would advise her the same thing. Listen to everything I say, listen to everything everybody else says, but eventually back yourself and make choices that you are proud of when you look back in your career. Do not do things under pressure. Like for that matter, I think there was a point where Jahnvi was dabbling whether she should do Gunjan Saxena or not for a bit. And that's the same thing I told her. I said, listen, you have to like it. Eventually, it's not about this is the perfect second film or not. There is no perfect second film.
But do you advise them ever?
If they ask me, it's not like we sit across the table to talk about it every day. If they ask me something, it happens. I think Jahnvi and me are similar in that sense. So we talk a lot more about work. She's just started working. Shanaya, whenever I've got a chance and she's asked me, I do tell her, listen, advising is very easy, but you have to also follow that advice. So I don't think everybody likes to listen to advice. जब कोई पूछता है तो बोल देता हूँ. Like Harsh has a mind of his own. He's following his heart, and I'm happy for that. Because he's cut from a different cloth. At least he's holding his own and he's doing a thar that he likes to do. So then great. As long as you're being honest to yourself, आप सुनते सब की हो लेकिन करते अपनी हो, then follow it through. Then don't play the mid path that you're constantly double second guessing yourself and all, because if you are really not convinced about what you're doing, the audience will catch you out on that. So yeah, I think for Shanaya or for any actor or anybody who's choosing to do work, it's simpler perhaps to some degree for us because we are in the fraternity and we've grown up here, that we will be getting options. Sometimes you don't have an option. कभी-कभी आपको काम करना पड़ता है ताकि और काम मिले. वो एक अलग जर्नी होती है. अगर आपको चॉइस मिल रही है तो वो चूज करो जो आपको करना है. एक वो भी फेज आता है जहाँ पे आपको सिर्फ काम करना पड़ता है क्योंकि आपको एक
which people don't know about.
Yeah, which I've also been through that phase. Sometimes you just have to keep working because you want to just keep at it. Sometimes you just need to be at it. There are phases, but at this point in time, if you have the luxury to choose, don't choose what people want you to choose. Choose what you want to choose.
So that's the takeaway. सुनो सबकी करो अपनी.
Correct.
So thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Same here.
And hopefully we can meet super soon and
Yes.
meet again.
आप मुझे फिर से आईना दिखा सकते.
Done. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey guys, I'm Arjun Kapoor, and if you like this video, then please like, share, and subscribe to Pinkvilla.